Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So shout out to everybody who is in the building early. It is good to see each and every one of you. If you guys can hear me and see me, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear me, please give me a thumbs down or an angry face. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everybody who's in the building early. All right. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen, first order of business. Make sure y'all show her some love for enforcing the likes. Definitely need that. Throw them like enforcers in the chat for Brooklyn Queen. Shout out to my man, my homie, Bronze the God, for 31 months of support. Definitely appreciate that. Super channel OG. Definitely appreciate it, bro. Shout out to my man, Black Free Thinker. Shout out to my man, Carlton Way. Shout out to Loco Tina. Shout out to Tedra. Shout out to my man, AB Promotions. Shout out to DeAndre. Make sure y'all throw them like enforcers in the chat for my man DeAndre, enforcing them likes early. Shout out to Black Spider. It's good to see you as always. My man Unsunken One is in the building. All right. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton's starting up already. He said, wait a minute. I've never seen Jasmine Crockett and Mayor Tiffany Henyard in the same room. They must be the same. Never mind. Starting out already, man. But before we get into the B7 stuff, because there's a 7th B. Now, let me ask you guys this question. We heard the, what is it? The bad-bodied, bleach, blonde, what was it? Bimbo or something like that. There's a 7th B. My question for y'all is, what is the 7th B? And I'll give you a hint. The 7th B was on the thumbnail. And people probably ain't going to like that one. All right. Now, esteemed, before we get into that, right, we got to talk about all this other stuff. We got to talk about agent activity. All right. Because there's a lot of agent activity. And not just me saying somebody that I disagree with is an agent. Not that. You know what I'm saying? Not just saying somebody in the chat that I disagree with is an agent. Not that. I'm talking about actual White House correspondence. Oh, she said bad build. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Throw some flames in the chat for Brooklyn Queen. She got it. B7 is Biden. B7 is Biden. It's a lot of folks out here that said, I don't care if they got to roll him in a casket with embalming fluid rolling through his veins. We gonna vote for him. Well, if they roll him in a casket and he has embalming fluid in his veins and people vote for him, that would be like some of the people that they say were on the ballots in the last election. But I regress. All right. All right. We know that most people highly respect D.L. Hughley's political opinions. Most people look past the news. Most people look past the internet. And most people look to comedians for their world guidance and insight, right? Well, we're going to look at the wise wisdom and words of D.L. Hughley. Because I don't know if anybody heard, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think TD did a live stream about it. Michael Clooney has come out and he said some things about Joe Biden, saying that he might feel that Joe Biden might need to step down. All right. D.L. Hughley disagrees. Now, here's my question. What's everybody's thoughts on D.L. Hughley? We're going to listen to what he said on CNN.
Day by day, there's a bigger reaction across the country about whether or not Biden should be on the presidential ticket. Now, Hollywood is weighing in. As we mentioned, George Clooney was urging the party to move on from Biden after the debate, writing in the New York Times, quote, "Our party leaders need to stop telling us that 50 million people didn't see what we just saw. We're also terrified by the prospect of a second Trump term that we've opted to ignore every warning."
Now, let me ask you something about that. Shout out to my man Hurricane Free Thinker, Hurricane IQ. I merged you and Black Free Thinker together. I put you all in the atomic fusion machine. My bad. You know what I'm saying? Now, George Clooney is saying our party leaders need to stop telling us that 51 million people didn't see what we just saw. We're also terrified by the prospect of a second Trump term that we've opted to ignore every warning sign. Now, George Clooney is a celebrity, right? Now, we all know that literally none of us look to celebrities for political guidance, right? However, I find it interesting that George Clooney's comment right here is not a bad comment. It's not a bad comment. I wouldn't disagree with that. To me, this is a honest comment. Shout out to Rhonda. Shout out to the 216. This is a honest comment. You know what I'm saying? Why is it that when it comes to a lot of the celebrities, quote unquote, like, they never really, for the most part, say stuff like this? Even when they try to say stuff like this, they kind of play on the fence. Nobody's really come. Now, see, Charlemagne was running that skeptic grift earlier in the year. Shout out to Dwayne. Charlemagne was running that skeptic grift, right? But he still said that Biden should get the support. I heard about that, Carlton. I heard about that. And you're gonna see. We're gonna talk about some things later. We're gonna talk about some things later. Larrett TV says Clooney is Barack's bestie. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, what do you guys think about George Clooney's comment in comparison to people like the people on The View? What do you guys think?
Whether you like this or not, President Biden has had the legislative agenda that would rival FDR. And so I think that while people have the right to voice their opinion, they should be rooted in some level of sanity. If you look at where, for instance, if you look.
Now, here's my question. How about if you're doing a debate, you should be rooted in some level of sanity? How about that? Shout out to TD. TD says Van Jones is the only brave Negro on the DNC plantation to say it. And you know, there's no shortage of tears. There's no shortage of tears with Van Jones. Now, I actually had a Van Jones clip, but my computer decided to just crash right before I got started. That's why I was late. You know what I'm saying? I was going to actually play Van Jones. But look at DL Hughley. He got the gemstones on the shirt. He's just looking cool. You know what I'm saying? He got the ear pods in, and he's giving us that good. He's giving us that good balanced assessment. He's giving us that good balanced assessment. You know what I'm saying?
Look at where George W. Bush and John Kerry were at this time in their race in June and July of that year. Kerry was 7 points ahead of him. If you look at where Barack Obama and Mitt Romney were in their race, October 16th, 2.5 weeks before that election, Romney was 4 points ahead of Obama. So, and the thing that those two people have in common is the power of the incumbency. So you have openly people advocating for a president to give up the power of the bully pulpit and the incumbency months before a presidential election, which is ridiculous. Historically, no president has ever gave up incumbency. No party has ever gave up the incumbency as the president and won the election. It's just never.
Now, let me ask you guys something. Should history always determine what occurs in the future? Just because something didn't happen in the past, does that mean that should be an automatic disqualifier for it happening in the future? Let me know what you guys think. And shout out to TD Media Group. If you guys agree with TD, it's amazing how much of a DNC shill Hughley is. Give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, then give me a thumbs down. And real quick, shout out to everybody watching, man. I really appreciate you guys being here. If you guys have not smashed that like button yet, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit that bell yet, please take a moment, hit that bell, share the stream to your social media, join our Discord. I want to ask all the people in the comment section, if you guys enjoy the Discord and you are satisfied with the Discord, throw the Discord emoji or some flames into the chat.
Never happened.
What I found, it was an interesting point. I hear you in the historical references. It gives great context to understand how these numbers can shift. But there was a point in this op-ed, and when he talks about how, and I'll read it here. He's talking about how there was new and upsetting information. He talks about, well, no, we all think Republicans should abandon their nominee now that he's been convicted of 34 felonies. And so I just wonder, from the perspective of the timing aspect of it, did you see anything with respect to President Biden and the power of the incumbency that would give you the same level of concern about Republicans trying to replace their nominee because of felony convictions and Biden's 90 minutes?
I think that I interviewed the president on May 29th, a few weeks before the debate at the White House. And
now, let me ask you guys this question. Aside from this, right? Listen, because I'll tell you something. if Biden was a complete numbskull, like now all these people that are sitting there saying that they would roll Biden in on a casket, and if he was on a stretcher, you know what I'm saying, if he had a feed tube hooked up to him, if he was on a ventilator, I'd vote for him, right? You know, if he was at the coroner's office in a body bag with a black sheet over his head, I'd vote for him. The only way any of those conditions would hold for me voting for him is if somebody picked up his cold, unable hand and signed off the reparations checks. Now, I'll go ahead and vote for a corpse then, but you got to make sure that you've shown him signing those checks and I see them put in the mail or emailed. And once I've seen that, then I'm going for it. Then I'll go ahead and shout out to Scarface, vote for the hand of the dead body. You know what I'm saying? I do that, right? But aside from that, and there have been no promises of that, there is no possible way that that is going down. Now, what I find interesting, right? What I find interesting is that in this conversation, we're 2 minutes and 24 seconds into it. What have they mentioned that Joe Biden is going to do to earn his votes? He might have been bumbling at the debate, but he's going to speak clearly and improve a lot of disparities that we have. Did anybody say anything about that? No, they haven't. And that's what people got to pay attention for. That's what people got to pay attention for. Shout out to TD. TD said if he pooped on himself, I'd vote for him. Yeah, if he did that. Have you ever seen the slide, like the little wraparound? So like sometimes people shart and they let out a little bit and it starts dripping. And they do that little wraparound in slow motion. It looks like Neo trying to dodge those bullets to make sure that the pants leg don't make contact with the leg where it's dripping down at. So the pants don't get stuck. And if you're wearing a light color pants, if it gets stuck, then the brown will bleed through and people can see that streak running down the back of your pants. You know what I'm saying? So they try to do that hip movement. It kind of looked like some old school Little Richard or like some old school like 50s, 60s rock just sliding out the like literally like the electric slide. They should call it the SHIT slide because that's how you got to move in order to make it so that that don't happen. But then you still got that barrier of getting to the car and figuring out how you're going to position yourself once you get into the car so it don't go all over the place. That's something that Biden has to face. And we all know that Biden is not flexible enough to be moving like that. Biden's not flexible enough to be moving like that. Shout out to Hurricane. Hurricane said, I just had a similar discussion with my parents the other day. I thought I finally got them, but they failed back. They're so worried about Trump's narcissism, but not about the illegals or reparations. Now tell them this. Tell them this. If you are not a clinician, if you are not a psychologist, try not to worry about narcissism. See what they say. Shout out to Tedra. Tedra says, Discord feels a little chaotic sometimes with the different channels, but I like seeing the stories I don't see elsewhere. Facts. There you go. And it's just a matter of getting used to the Discord. It's just a matter of getting used to it. All Discord is a it's a highly powered chat room for the most part. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we appreciate you, and we appreciate you dropping the stories in there.
Air Force One. Now, obviously, he's an older man. Obviously, there's no disputing that. But let's be clear. The Democrats should be focusing on what's at stake in terms of what they're running against. The one thing that I didn't hear George Clooney mention was Project 2025. And I think we have a decidedly different vantage point. If you look at who Project 2025 affects the most, it is communities of color.
No, I disagree. Project 2025 affects white people the most. Project 2025 is from the Heritage Foundation, and it is created to preserve the initial American heritage for the people who are descendants of pilgrims and descendants of slave owners through conservative policy. So I disagree with that. It is meant to maintain a W advantage. Now, the entire United States has been built to maintain a W advantage. As a matter of fact, the entire United States has not only been built to maintain a W advantage, it's also been built to provide a built-in advantage for non-Black people, right? And we don't really talk about that because, 11 million undocumented immigrants becoming citizens and the people at the economic levels of United States that affects, we haven't talked. Well, actually, we have. We've been talking about the 2025 Democrat project, right? Project 2025 Democrat version. We've been talking about that since Biden got into office. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Mike Nice. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to Christopher Perkins. What's good with you? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something, right? I'm going to be 100% honest. Project 2025 is not something that's meant for Black empowerment. Duh. You know what I'm saying? Neither was the United States. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe that the sudden shift to focus on Project 2025 is not even to discuss how it might be harmful, right? It's not even to discuss that. It's to take the attention away from Biden's horrible performance at the debate. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down.
It is the people who have less than. Now, if you're a straight white male in this country, you could be disappointed in the election, but it wouldn't have disastrous results. I think that's decidedly a different thing for communities of color. And I think that the vantage point they speak from.
I don't think that it's, listen, I don't think that it's a bad thing for quote unquote communities of color. We have different issues as Black people than these other quote unquote communities of color. You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you guys this. If you watch a No Jumper and Lefty Gun players on there, is he talking about communities of color? Did he say he won't let his daughter date men from communities of color? Or did he say he won't let his daughter date Black men? Which one was it? Which one was it? So, you know, I shout out to the Discord because we was chopping it up about this yesterday. I was actually watching a video that Sabby Sabs had done, and you know, she was going Karen crazy about the quote unquote Black Miss Leadership class, right? But I actually agreed with what she was saying, and DL Hughley is absolutely 110% part of that. Now, what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to understand this. When it comes to the mainstream media that's supposed to be educating us about these things, allegedly, that's what their alleged job description is. How many people have heard them lay out exactly how Project 2025 is expected to directly harm Black people? Has anybody heard anything? If you guys have, let me know what you've heard in the chat. If you haven't heard anything, give me a thumbs down or an angry face.
I don't think that he speaks for the people that I speak. I speak to millions of people every day on my radio show, and that's the sentiment I hear that is kind of bantered around. And so I just think the one thing I can say for sure is the reticence that a lot of young Black men have with the Democratic Party is the cowardice at every turn, the hand-wringing, the fecklessness, and they exhibited it all the time, and it's just a lot to take.
You know, I'm a fan of your show and listen to it all the time. And I want you to unpack a little bit more about what you're hearing on that idea of the cowardice, because one of the criticisms I often hear is Democrats eat their own, that there's a circular firing squad.
Absolutely.
They attempt to have a more high ground is to their detriment. And yet there is something to be said about having a moral compass, about having the high ground, and about calling out.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Win first. Win first. Moral high ground and all. And this is exactly what I tell you guys about. The moral high ground and being a better person and playing fair. Play to win only. This is what they're preaching. This is one of the reasons why they call this the Democrat plantation. They are preaching slave mentality right here. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. They are preaching to you slave mentality. Let me ask you guys this question. How far does slave mentality get people?
Out wrong, whatever it may be. But tell me about what you're hearing from people about how they view these last couple weeks.
Well,
and you know what? Shout out to my man TD. Shout out to my man TD. To all the people that might be ghost watching, I want you guys to speak up right now. Do you all understand that we just can't play a video? I can't just play this video and let it run. Do the people that don't make content understand that? Like, do you all understand that? If everybody understands that that will be a violation of copyright, if I just played this entire video all the way through and let it run, give me a thumbs up. If for some reason that doesn't make sense, or, you know, it doesn't connect, then give me a thumbs down. I want to ask everybody this question. What kind of idiot would leave a comment and tell somebody that they're unsubscribing because they're pausing a video to give commentary, and then leave a second question that says, stop interrupting, pause the video, and then leave your commentary, which is literally interrupting and leaving commentary? Who would do that? Someone amongst us did it. Just so y'all know, someone amongst us did it. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing. LBJ had the moral compass. He left. Richard Nixon became
Shout out to
president.
Yoshimori. What's good with you, bro?
Became the onslaught of mass incarceration and the war on drugs. It had disastrous consequences for black people. When Donald Trump won, it had disastrous consequences for black people. If you look at who suffered the most under those policies, if you look at his COVID reaction, who died the most? So this, for me, is not a whimsical conversation. For me, it's not a conversation about what is uncomfortable. It is what is necessary. Look at Project 2025 and tell me for sure. I watched the mass media and no one has interviewed anybody seriously with the fervor about Biden's age that they do about Project 2025. No one. And who does it affect? If they disband or absolve the Department of Education, who does it affect primarily? Environmental rollbacks. Who does it affect primarily?
Who does it affect primarily? Let me ask you guys these questions. All of these questions that DL Hughley is talking about, who does it affect primarily? Now, in a couple of days, I got an all money ain't good money video coming, and we're going to talk about the billions of dollars that the United States government has been giving a lot of these corporations all across the United States. None of that money is going directly to us because we've been blocked out of ownership when it comes to EVs and clean energy. So those policies and programs hurt us as well. Shout out to New York State of Mind. What's good with it? Shout out to Lewis Knowles. What's good with you, bro?
All the things that are geared, if they DEI or if they Black history, who does it affect? Because the truth of the matter is, in 2020, it was the black and brown people that fired Donald Trump. More white people.
Black and brown. Again, we have to ask these questions. Please leave lots of questions with this timestamp. Who pays these celebrities to literally say this quote unquote black and brown stuff? Now, let me ask you guys this question. Do you think that any organizations associated with Stacey Abrams are going to comb through this video clip and point out the misinformation in it? That's my question for you guys.
Voted for him in 2020, then voted for him in 2016. Black and brown people fired him. And as a result of this, we have these draconian measures in Project 2025. And more, rather than Democrats focusing on that, they're focusing on the age of a man. By the time this is over, one thing is for certain, Joe Biden will be older. And Project.
How come DL Hughley is not talking about the brown people that sit around and call Juneteenth ratchet? Let me ask you guys this question. Was it brown people that sat around and called Juneteenth ratchet? If it was a brown person that sat around and called Juneteenth ratchet, give me a thumbs up. If it was somebody else that I might have missed by some chance, then give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Jada Informant. What's good with you, bro?
2025 will still be the platform that is running behind all of this.
You know, this has been one of the big criticisms of the people have not gone after what are the obvious Achilles heels of one's opponent. And you mentioned that you also
shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, I never heard them say black and yellow people. You never heard Wiz Khalifa, black and yellow, black and yellow. You never heard Wiz Khalifa?
interviewed Vice President Harris, I believe, about a month ago as well. And I do want to get your take, given, you know, Project 2025 has more than a few dog whistles, shall we say, and there's also overt statements that are being made. I said more than overt dog whistles.
Now, speaking of the dog whistle, right? Speaking of the dog whistle, we showed Joe Biden on the community post throwing up that Proud Boy sign. Let me ask y'all a question. Is that a dog whistle? Shout out to my man David Brown. What's good with it, bro? Is that a dog whistle? Is that a dog whistle? Joe Biden looked pretty comfortable throwing up that Proud Boy sign, didn't he? What was he so proud of right then? Was that right when he had told black people that we not going to talk about reparations? Let's start talking about native indigenous people.
saying, in terms of thinking about it. And there are also moments when people are using race and having those discussions to criticize the vice president of the United States. And I want to get your take on something that she's recently been facing, been facing for quite some time, but especially now that she's being named as possibly someone to top a ticket. Listen to what the former Trump official, Sebastian Gorka, had the nerve to say about her.
She's a DEI hire, right? She's a woman. She's colored, therefore she's got to be good. Yeah. And at least her brain doesn't literally freeze in mid-sentence.
Now, I don't know if you can see who's on that screen.
Now, hey, I got a question for y'all. What do y'all think about what that dude just said? What do you guys think about what she just said? Now, check this out, right? Check this out. Check this out. I want y'all to follow me here. Please follow me here, okay? Don't fly off the handle. Don't unsubscribe. Hear me out. When is the last time you ever heard Joe Biden mention how competent any of the people are that he's hired? Shout out to Operator 6, right? Yeah, shout out to Carlton Way. Now, as horrible as what that white dude might have just said, Joe Biden literally said he picked those people because of their race and their gender, not because of their qualifications, not because of how they're going to help black people. If you pick somebody based on their race and based on their gender and not based on their criteria, qualifications, and capabilities, what are they? That's my question. Now, we know, right? We know that white people simply call people DEI hires, right, to be racist. However, when you have Joe Biden substantiating that talking point by literally the only thing he ever says to black people is, I've hired the most black people. I hired a black woman. I got Ketanji Brown Jackson in. He's the one throwing these people out and presenting them where they can be vulnerable for the DEI talking point. Biden made them DEI hires. If my logic makes sense and you guys get where I'm going with it, give me a thumbs up. If it don't make sense, then give me a thumbs down. When have we ever heard Biden brag about these people based on their qualifications or based on what they're going to do for us? When has that ever happened? He never says, I made Kamala Harris the president and she decreased the racial wealth gap by 10% and slowed it down by 5% every year. He's never said that. Biden only presents these people, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Kamala Harris. He presents them to you as, this is what I did for you. I put this person in because they're black, because they're a woman. He literally said, I promise you, I will give you a black female president. He himself set him up for the vulnerability to be attacked with the DEI hire talking point. And Kamala Harris, because she's so thirsty for a job, took it. The other DEI hire couldn't even define part of what made her a DEI during the Senate hearing. Now, here goes my question, right? And this is how people try to take these type of, videos or this type of content and try to twist it and say that it's right-wing dis or misinformation. We're going to do a fact check. Did Joe Biden not say that he put those people in office because they were black? And then that was it. End of sentence. Didn't mention any accomplishments, didn't mention any criteria. And then when we've looked into them, we've seen that they may not be very qualified. But the idea is, look at how those white people are talking. We can play on the black outrage economy to immediately go haywire when a black person is attacked. Now, I get it. We got to always be on defense, right? But at the same time, we got to think through this stuff logically. And at the same time, we got to be attacking everybody constantly. So we got to sit back and ask Joe Biden, well, yeah, these people over here saying that these people's DEI hires. What do you have to say about that? What have they accomplished? Because you all haven't been competent in addressing our disparities. So why did you hire these people? Is that fair? That's my question for you guys. If that's fair, give me a thumbs up. If that's not fair, then give me a thumbs down.
She's a DEI hire, right? She's a woman. She's colored, therefore she's got to be good. And at least her brain doesn't literally freeze in mid-sentence.
Now, you know what we got to do, right? We got to say with that, we got to ask that white dude with that accent, why are you speaking on American issues? We got to ask him that, and we got to ask him where his people from. Got to ask him that. Got to ask the white dude that. If we're gonna ask every black person that, got to ask the white people that. Right? Got to do that. We can't we can't contribute to everyone else treating us different. You know what I'm saying? Would you guys agree? If y'all agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to my man AB Promotions. AB Promotions says, to all the lames that announce they're unsubscribing, do so and disappear, you cornballs. Facts. If you guys agree with AB, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, then give me a thumbs down. And shout out to my man AB for funding the organization, being the first stream sponsor.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Shout out to Ryan. Ryan says, I was just listening to Nico House, and his guest said that this conservative guy would actually have agreed with her record in Cali, even though she's a DEI hire. And I'm not surprised, because as we know, right, they contradict themselves, which again is something that in a debate, if somebody were to say Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, Joe Biden would need to be privy of that information and present that information to refute that point, right? But again, we're dealing with Joe Biden, who has a difficult time making it from start to finish of a sentence. You know what I'm saying? And real quick, shout out to everybody watching, man. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed that like button yet, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and share the stream to your social media.
Now, I don't know if you can see who's on that screen, but on the right, I believe it's Matt Whitaker, who is the former acting attorney general of the United States, with that smile on his face. What do you make of these attacks?
It's an interesting thing. 17 senators gone on to become president.
And also, again, what I want people to understand, no one loves DEI more than white people. No one loves DEI more than no one loves DEI more than conservatives. Right? Just look at all of the elements of life that white people have implemented DEI into. Look at porn. They got blacked. They got the interracial porn. You know what I'm saying? Look at slavery, right? They brought people here to integrate the country. They went to other countries. Look at all of the coons are conservative DEI hires. Europeans have a legacy of utilizing, exploiting, and manipulating DEI. So anytime these people mention or talk about DEI, all they're doing is just referencing the legacy. You know what I'm saying? They just referencing the legacy. It's up to us to be able to discern the information and say, yeah, you guys do like DEI. You know what I'm saying? Look at Candace Owens. She's a conservative DEI. Look at Larry Elder. He's a conservative DEI. Look at Vivek Ramaswamy. He's a conservative DEI. Look at all these conservative DEIs. Look at, you know what I'm saying? Greg Foreman. Look at Officer Tatum. How can you be a black conservative if you're not black? That is a job based on skin color and not qualification. You are a DEI. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. So what people see, and here's the reason why a lot of time people spend time lost in the abyss of outrage instead of having fun. Spinning the DEI term, that's a way to get people, that's a way to get them back for spinning the woke term, right? But people love to spend their time in the abyss of outrage. And while you're in the abyss of outrage saying, look at them calling us a DEI, look at them calling us a DEI. Bro, that's how they built white supremacy with DEI. We need to take credit The same way we take credit for building this country, we built white supremacy with DEI. Of course, you know what I'm saying, there was conditions and we were forced, but we did it. They didn't do it themselves. We did it. Which is more proof that it's kind of difficult for them folks over there to build anything on their own. But everybody wants to stay head spinning. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they called us this. Ow, they called us that. Ow, ow, they called us this. They called us that. Man, troll back, hit back, counterpunch. You know what I'm saying? We just talked about the Ryan Garcia, you know what I'm saying, boxing issues, and a lot of people watch boxing. Hit him with that counter right. Thomas Sowell, a OG right-wing DEI, facts. He's such an OG DEI that he clearly does not talk about what his specialty is. He's an economist, and he sits around talking about sociology, a clear DEI. Shout out to my man Carlton Way. Throw them alarms in the chat. We off code. Right. That's what they do. Look, shout out to Hurricane. Shout out to Hurricane, right? Hurricane says, yes, troll them with their own words. What is so hard about this concept? Facts. Okay, y'all got woke. Bet. Now we about to show y'all about DEI. Now we about to show y'all about DEI. Ask me to do something at work. I can't do it tonight because it would be DEI if I did. You know what I'm saying? That would be woke. You know what I'm saying?
She was one of them. She's one of those. Vice President. Very few people. She's been an attorney general of the largest, most populous, most wealthy state in the country. So there is this notion. America has been more damaged by GCI than DEI. Greedy, corrupt, incompetent white men have caused more damage to the United States of America than diversity, equity, inclusion. Who caused Boeing? Who caused the mortgage crisis? Who caused our reaction and our lack of reaction to COVID? It wasn't, because what people do is blame the things they can't control. Kamala Harris is more than qualified to accept the presidency of the United States of America, which is interesting because her test to be president wasn't fealty. It wasn't much like Donald Trump's, whoever he select will be. It is her professionalism and her actually ability to run the country. And another point is, if Joe Biden, as a lot of people worry, can't complete his term, who's more better qualified than to complete his term than Vice President Harris? So you have a twofer. You have both the incumbent, the power.
Let me ask you guys this: Kamala Harris's job, she was appointed to border czar. Is that correct? If it's correct that Kamala Harris was appointed to be the border czar, give me a thumbs up. If that's not correct and she was not appointed to be the border czar, then give me a thumbs down. Now, if we base what she has done as the border czar on the possibility of how she may perform as the president, my question for you guys is, what does that look like going into the future? Shout out to MD Williams. What's good with it, bro?
Power of the incumbency, and somebody is more than willing, capable, and able to run the presidency should he cede or should he not be able to complete his thing. So what men do, what mediocre white men do, is blame things. They have no excuse for their failures. The reason that Donald Trump did not get a second term is because he so mishandled COVID that he was fired by the American people. Okay, that's fine. What about Joe Biden's what about Joe Biden's performance at the debate? Now, I'm going to tell you guys something here. Okay. And I want you guys to pay very close attention. How many people heard about what happened with that Philadelphia radio host that talked about Joe Biden on CNN? If you guys heard about what happened with her, give me a thumbs up. If you guys did not hear about what happened with her, then give me a thumbs down. The radio host who was interviewed by CNN, who had interviewed Joe Biden, the woman who was on there has since stepped down from her position. She stepped down from her position. Okay. Now I got to ask you guys this question. Now you guys remember and this video is still up. You can watch it. You know what I'm saying? Charlemagne gets a list of questions and reviews and reactions from the White House, right? Why does the White House have so much reach into quote unquote alleged quote unquote black media? That's my question. Shout out to my man PD that remains. Yeah, shout out to AB. I'm calling off for work tomorrow. And when they ask why, I'm going to say,
because I'm dealing with DEI in my knee. I'm dealing with DEI. I'm dealing with DEI and woke-itis. I woke up and looked at my skin and it was black, and I noticed I had a complete and total 100% dermatitis outbreak of woke-itis. You know what I'm saying? And I got DEI all up in my knees. So I can't come to work today. You know what I'm saying? I can't come to work. I'm sure you understand. You know, I might have to take some FMLA for that. Yeah, let them know. You know what I'm saying? They'll understand, especially if they watch Fox.
The Philadelphia radio host who interviewed President Biden last week has resigned from WURD radio. Andrea Lawful Sanders, who hosted The Source, asked Biden.
Now, let me ask this. Why did this happen? We need to do a critical analysis on this. And I also think that the Biden administration should come out with a statement on this. Why is this lady who, you know, interviewed him, right, doing her job, why is it all of a sudden she lost her job? And now here you got to ask this question. Is it actually safe for black media people who live the app life, who aren't independent, like me, you know what I'm saying, to question these things? Because if you question these things, you could possibly lose your job. Shout out to MD. MD asked, is she Caribbean? Yeah, if you watch the CNN news clip, she reveals that she's Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? But now she's unemployedian. You know what I'm saying? Now she's unemployedian. You know what I'm saying?
The Philadelphia radio host who interviewed President Biden last week has resigned from WURD radio. Andrea Lawful Sanders, who hosted The Source, asked Biden 4 questions about what's at stake in this election. She later admitted the questions were pre-selected by Biden's campaign team. The president and CEO of the radio station says that asking those specific questions jeopardizes the truth of its listeners. Lawful Sanders and the station agreed to mutually part ways.
So she self-snitched. She self-snitched. What do you guys think about that? She self-snitched. She wouldn't have got fired had she not mentioned that on CNN. And now, and CNN asked her that question. CNN asked her that question. Yeah, and I wouldn't disagree. Shout out to My 2 Cents, y'all. My 2 Cents, y'all, says, I'm independent. People need to vote for their interest. I agree 100%. If you guys agree with My 2 Cents, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, then give me a thumbs down. Yeah, I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
Radio host is leaving the station after a controversial interview with President Biden. Andrea Lawful Sanders admitted to asking questions provided beforehand by Biden's campaign. As Ray Strickland reports, this happened less than a week after the president's poor debate performance.
Effective immediately, I am no longer an on-air host at WURD.
Where the policy.
Andrea Lawful Sanders announced her departure from Word in a post to her followers on Instagram Sunday.
I tendered my resignation yesterday.
I'm glad.
Now, I want people to pay very close attention, right? This is where the learning curve should kick in. This is where the learning curve should kick in. Now, I don't agree with a lot of what this lady was saying, right? I don't agree with what she was saying, right? But she should. But the one thing that she should not lose her job for is transparency. Would you, if you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to G Mars. And technically, the White House got her in trouble, right? By giving her that list. They should have let her just do a pure interview. But at the same time, she should have stood up for herself. She should have stood up for herself. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, then give me a thumbs down.
Glad that you all were patient.
Lawful Sanders, who hosted a radio show called The Source on Word, made headlines following her interview with President Biden that aired on July 4th.
I have a few questions for you. The first one.
Shout out to my man KOK Fit. KOK Fit. What's she cooning about? B7 can't be good. You know what the 7th B is? You know what the 7th B is, bro.
A lot of people are talking about the debate and your performance. Is there any reason for the American people to be concerned?
No, I had a bad debate.
Yeah.
I had a bad debate.
But days after the interview, Lawful Sanders.
Okay, so here's my thing, right? I want y'all to let me know about this. Joe Biden keeps saying, quote unquote, I had a bad debate. I had a bad debate. I want everybody to give me their opinion of the exact reason why you feel that the debate was bad. Let me know what you think.
Sanders admitted to CNN that the interview was based on questions that were given to her by the Biden campaign.
Yes, I got several questions, 8 of them, and the 4 that were chosen were the ones that I approved.
Interview the president of the United States.
Wisconsin radio host Earl Ingram also interviewed the president and said he received a list of 4 questions in advance.
So as you got, and we're going to talk about Earl Ingram in a minute. Earl Ingram also got questions. Now, let me ask you guys this question. When is the last time that you heard about any non-black media organization getting questions or getting cue cards or anything like that from the White House for their interviews? Has anybody, if you've heard of any stories like that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys have not heard of any stories like that, then give me a thumbs down.
A spokesperson for the Biden campaign told CBS News, quote, "We do not condition interviews on acceptance of these questions, and hosts are always free to ask the questions."
And I agree. I got to agree with my 2 cents again. My 2 cents says they all do it. I agree. They all do it. And what we hear about is probably a watered down version, or we don't hear about all of it for the most part at all. Sometimes they just stay quiet. You know what I'm saying?
They think will best inform their listeners. Word President and CEO Sarah Lomax confirmed lawful Sanders' departure from the Black-owned talk radio station. Lomax said the interview was arranged and negotiated without the knowledge of management and, quote, violates our practice of remaining an independent media outlet. Lomax went on to say Word Radio is not a mouthpiece.
Now, somebody do me a favor. Can somebody look up Sarah M. Lomax, the president and CEO of WURD Radio, and let me know what you find about that person? If somebody in the comment section could look up Sarah M. Lomax, president and CEO of Word Radio, and drop the links in the comment section, what you find about that individual, I would definitely appreciate it. And let us know what you find.
For the Biden or any other administration. And a source within the Biden campaign told CBS News that the campaign will refrain from offering suggested questions moving forward. For CBS News Philadelphia, I'm Ray Strickland.
Well, it's too late now. They already got people fired. They already got people fired. You know what I'm saying? People have already lost their jobs behind this. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what doing that moving forward does now. It's too late. Now, again, shout out to all of us that do independent content. Shout out to us that are independent media. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to worry about this. We don't have to worry about this kind of nonsense. You know what I'm saying?
Were those questions given to you by the White House, or did you have, or the campaign, or did you have to submit questions ahead of this interview?
The questions were sent to me for approval. I approved them.
Okay, so the White House sent the questions to you ahead of the interview.
Yes.
Okay. So now what she just admits to right here, let me ask you guys this question. Is this information filtration? If this is information filtration, give me a thumbs up. If it's not information filtration, give me a thumbs down and let me know what you think that it is. Shout out to Jay. Make sure y'all throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Jay for doing the research. Jay says Lomax Reese is the president and CEO of WURD Radio, the only African-American owned talk radio station in Pennsylvania. She is the co-founder of URL Media along with S. Mitra Kalita. Now, I'm curious if this organization here takes federal and state grants. What do you guys, if you guys think that they take federal and state grants, let me know.
Were those questions given to you by the White House, or did you have, or the campaign, or did you have to submit questions ahead of this interview?
The questions were sent to me for approval. I approved them.
Okay, so the White House sent the questions to you ahead of the interview.
Yes.
Okay.
I got several questions, 8 of them, and the 4 that were chosen were the ones that I approved.
Okay. And the reason I ask is not a criticism of either of you. It's just that if the White House is trying now to prove the vim, vigor, acuity of the president, I don't know how they do that by sending questions first, before the interview so that the president knows what's coming.
Hey, look, check this out. She did not think that she was going to wake up that morning, do that interview on CNN, and as a result of that interview on CNN, lose her job. She was not thinking that that was going to go down. You know what I'm saying? So now let me ask you guys this question. When it comes to this particular situation, how did the Democrats affect this black job? Hey, how did the Democrats affect this black job? Yeah, facts. I gotta agree with my 2 cents. I would have never agreed to it. Let me ask you guys, if you all were doing this interview, would you all have agreed to it? Me personally, I wouldn't have. And if they wouldn't have done the interview on my terms, I just wouldn't have done the interview. We just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? We just can't do it. Now, how many people think that the radio station actually encouraged her to do this? I wouldn't be surprised if she ran this by the radio station. She probably said, well, the White House, you know, they kind of saying that I can't ask certain questions, or they gave me a list of questions. And I guarantee the company was like, oh, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it, because this is a great opportunity. And then when this came out and there was backlash against it, then the company said, oh, we got to back away from you. We got to throw you under the bus. Boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me ask you guys this. Had this question never been asked on CNN, had that never been brought up, do you think that they would have come out and tried to maintain their information integrity? I don't think that they would have. I don't think that they would have said anything. I don't think that they would have said anything.
Hello, beautiful people. I wanted to come here and share with you that effective immediately, I am no longer an on-air host at WURD. I tendered my resignation yesterday.
Shout out to Carla.
It
What's
was
good with
accepted.
Carla? Yeah, she even covered for Joe Biden. She did all that. She covered for Joe Biden. She did all that. And now she's in the unemployment line. Now she's in the unemployment line. Hey, I think that the Democrats owe her a job. If y'all think that the Democrats owe her a job, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't, then give me a thumbs down. I think at the least they owe her a job. I think at the least they owe her a job. You know what I'm saying? Now check this out, right? This radio host in Milwaukee, Earl Ingram, he also says that he got a list of questions. Now, why is the Biden administration sending people lists of questions? And then none of these people that get these lists of questions are being, quote unquote, deemed as misinformation. Why is that? Milwaukee radio host Earl Ingram says he was given a list of questions to ask about Joe Biden. Okay. A Milwaukee radio host said Saturday he was provided a list of questions to ask President Joe Biden ahead of a critical set of interviews the Democratic president scheduled in the wake of a stunning debate performance that left members of his own party calling him to end his re-election bid. Yes, I was given some questions for Biden, Earl Ingram, a prominent radio host of Civi Media, who is a longtime supporter of Biden, told ABC News on Saturday. Ingram did not respond to questions from the Journal Sentinel on Saturday. A source familiar with Biden campaign booking operation told the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel on Saturday that the campaign would no longer be offering suggested questions. Why? Now, here goes my question for you guys. Why was the campaign offering suggested questions from the get-go? Why is the campaign offering suggested questions from the get-go? You know what I'm saying? That's the question. We gotta figure that out. And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching, man. I really appreciate you guys. We're doing great. We got 56 people watching and we got 63 likes. If everybody can bang on that like button and try to get us over 100, that would be wonderful. While interview hosts have always been free to ask whatever questions they please, moving forward, we will refrain from offering suggested questions, the source said. Now, you guys know, for the most part, the White House is probably suggesting questions that would make Biden look good. If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, then give me a thumbs down. And shout out to my man PD that remains for joining the membership. Make sure y'all show him some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man PD that remains, funding the organization and standing on business.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the march of dimes.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it, bro. Shout out to the green team, man. We getting on both channels, y'all. The green team getting deep. You know what I'm saying? Ingram was one of two black radio hosts to air interviews with Biden following last week's televised debate, during which the president lost his train of thought and at times made nonsensical statements. Andrea Lawful Sanders of WURD in Pennsylvania, the second host, also said Saturday she did not feel pressured to ask any specific questions. Word Radio announced Sunday it has mutually agreed to part ways with Lawful Sanders. Okay. The debate episode leveled a blow to Biden's candidacy, some Democratic donors and colleagues believe to be fatal. The interviews were scheduled in an effort to reassure voters of the president's abilities. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Anybody that watched those interviews or anybody that's seen any subsequent Biden interviews, do you feel more confident after watching those interviews than you did during the debate? If you do, then give me a thumbs up. If you do not, then give me a thumbs down. But both hosts have said, since they were given questions ahead of time, raising doubts about the confidence the president has in navigating unscripted conversations. That's kind of a serious issue, man. It's amazing how. Now, here goes my question. If people are willing to blow that off, what is there to put in place that will maintain Biden's integrity during the presidency? You know what I'm saying? Ingram, who did not mention the pre-written questions during an earlier interview with the Journal Sentinel, told ABC News he was given 5 questions and asked 4 of them. I didn't get a chance to ask him all the things I wanted to ask, he told ABC News. Okay. Lauren Hitt, a spokeswoman for Biden, said it's not common for interview subjects to share topics they would prefer. The questions were relevant to the news of the day. The president was asked about this debate performance, as well as what he had delivered for Black Americans. So now let me ask you guys this. Do you all think that Biden was given favorable questions to try to make it appear that he's had a better track record in improving conditions for Black Americans than he actually has? If you guys feel that that's what was going on there, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys feel that that's not what was going on there, then give me a thumbs down. Hit said, we did not condition our interviews on acceptance of these questions, and hosts are always free to ask the questions they think will best inform their listeners. In addition to these interviews, the president also participated in a press gaggle yesterday, as well as an interview with ABC. Americans have had several opportunities to see him unscripted since the debate, she added. The campaign also noted host Gino Jones, who interviewed Biden in June, and actor and comedian, there you go, D.L. Hughley, who interviewed Biden in May, said Saturday they were not given questions in advance of conversations with the president. Do you all believe? If you all believe this statement, give me a thumbs up. If you guys do not believe this statement, then give me a thumbs down. Ingram told ABC News that he didn't have concerns with the practice. To think I'm going to get an opportunity to ask any questions to the president of the United States, I think is a bit more than anybody should expect, he said. Well, see, that's the problem, that you feel that way. That's a problem right there. And that's how you feel. I feel that me being able to present information to a good amount of people that actually trust me, that takes precedence. So for me, for my platform, I can't speak for anybody else. For my platform, the fact that you all trust me is of my utmost importance. Not because some dusty old president decided to give me the time of day. That's a you problem, bro. That's where you will compromise your values. You know what I'm saying? Certainly the fact that they gave me this opportunity means a lot to me. That don't mean a lot to me. Listen, if President Biden decided to click on the StreamYard link, the fact that you all are here to listen to me interview, that's what matters. Not the fact that Biden clicked on the link. I could do an article where Biden bumbled through an interview, and because y'all trust me, y'all will still show up. I don't really care about Biden all like that. It's not giving an opportunity. I want the people that watch my channel to have the best opportunity to prosper. You know what I'm saying? In the pre-recorded interview with Ingram that aired Thursday, Biden said he had a bad night during the debate. And the fact of the matter is that I screwed up. I made a mistake, he told Ingram. Biden, during the 18-minute interview that aired on WAUK-AM, said he would be proud, that he was proud to be running for re-election as a president that has made his promises, and I've kept them. Really? Biden said he made promises and kept them. What promises did Biden make to you all that he kept? What promises did Biden make to you all that he kept? Now, shout out to my 2 cents. We gotta address this comment here. My 2 cents says Trump scares the shit out of me. I hope he doesn't extend the deportations to Afro-Americans. When you say Afro-Americans, who are you talking about? Who are you talking about when you say quote unquote Afro-Americans? Because if you're an immigrant who's not a citizen, there may be some risk of that. If you're foundational Black American, where are you going to get deported to? Where is our country of origin that we're going to get deported to? Where are we going? You know what I'm saying? They're gonna send us to Antarctica, and everybody just gonna sit there and let them. Everybody gonna sing a song when they get on the boat. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna sing "Wade in the Water" while we walk side by side, shackled on a boat. Yeah, I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? But my question is, where are we going? You know what I'm saying? Like I no offense to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to AW1. But we have to ask, at the very least, intermediate and intelligible questions. TD said all Black Americans getting deported to Liberia ASAP. They tried to do that back in the day. I don't think. Let me ask. Shout out to the FBAs in the building, and shout out to lawful citizens and people who are documented and here legally that are in the chat. How many of you all, quote unquote, fear deportation? If you all fear deportation, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't fear deportation, then give me a thumbs down. Where are we going? Where will we be deported to? I'm just curious. You know what I'm saying? The 81-year-old president visited Madison on Friday, definitely declaring he would stay in the race, and he pledged to defeat the Republican presidential candidate, Donald Trump. That might be a promise that he might not come through on, to add to the list. Trump recently canceled an interview with a news outlet after learning what questions the reporter planned to ask. He also agreed to an interview with the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, during which he did not receive topics or questions ahead of time. To a crowd of invited supporters on Friday, Biden displayed more vigor and clarity than in his recent debate performance and loudly rejected such discussions while still stumbling over some words during his speech, and at one point declaring that he would beat Trump again in 2020 before correcting himself. So he's not even alert and oriented of the time. Yeah, I gotta agree. If you guys agree with Tetra, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Tetra says, I truly don't understand why people are so afraid, especially Black people. There is nothing they can scare you with that they haven't done already. And I think it's time for us to start scaring people. I think it's time for us to start being on the offensive and scaring people. You know what I'm saying? Everybody always talk about they not like us, but they forget about pop out like the boogeyman. Like, it's time for people to start popping out like the boogeyman. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't think we need to read the rest of this. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get the picture. Y'all get the point. We're going to talk about everybody's favorite roast darling. We're going to talk about everybody's favorite roast darling. Now, you know they say vote blue no matter who, right? She's on that team of vote Biden even if he's dying. She on that team. Yeah, shout out to Till Dog. Facts. If you guys agree with Till Dog, now more than ever, we need to embrace villainy. Give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. They want y'all to start singing church songs and old Negro spirituals. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody about to do that. This is the heathen generation. Crockett doubles down on support. She trying to get a job. Post-debate, Trump only cares about himself. Representative Jasmine Crockett doubled down on her support of President Biden as calls for him to drop out rise and warned of a second term of former President Trump because he only cares about himself. Let me ask you guys this question. Give me numbers in the chat. I need numbers in the chat. Give me a percentage of politicians in the White House right now that you think only care about themselves. Shout out to Carlton. Wait, I should trademark everything. You know what I'm saying? I should make a tea. I should make a tea with Joe Biden in a casket. You know what I'm saying? And say, I'm voting Biden even if he dying. You know, I got that shirt. Bro, I got the shirt in the merch store. Make me rich off merch like Brandon Jamal. You know what I'm saying? Make me rich off merch like Hawk to a girl. You know what I'm saying? Get that either that cow. I got the merchandise grift for whatever way you voting. I got the Megatron shirts down there. You know what I'm saying? I got the who else down there? I got the Biden is the smartest president in the world shirt. I got the Al Sharpton snake shirt. And we got the Couch 2024 shirt. Make me rich like Hawk Tua and Brandon Jamal. Help me be able to give y'all better content on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? Make it so I can stream to y'all in the chat with a whole bunch of voting ballots in my Dodge Charger on top of the car. You know what I'm saying? So now here says Representative Jasmine Crockett doubled down on her support of President Biden as calls for him to drop out rise and warned of a second term with former President Trump because, quote unquote, he only cares about himself. Crockett joined MSNBC's Katie Fang on Saturday to discuss the fallout from Biden's poor debate performance and the growing number of House Democrats calling on him to step aside. The Texas lawmaker said Democrats who are calling on the president to resign says more about them being scared of Trump than Biden's character. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Does that make any sense? If that makes any sense, give me a thumbs up. If that doesn't make any sense, then give me a thumbs down. One thing that I think we are all united in, no matter where you stand, is our fear, she said. Yeah, I disagree. Our fear that somehow Donald Trump can get back into the White House, our fear that the Supreme Court will absolutely end up becoming even worse, or our fear because we know the reality of what they are seeking in Project 2025. I'm so tired of these people trying to front run black people as genetic cowards. How many people in the comment section are genetic cowards? If you have a cowardice strand in your DNA, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, then give me a thumbs down. How many people are tired of these people advertising black people as scattering, cowardly cowards? I'm tired of that. Facts. Make it so that I can stream from Hawaii, yeah? Make it so I can do that. Make it so I could do that stream from a Airbnb in Oahu. Get that merch. Hit that Teespring. Shout out to Kiko. What's good with it, bro? What's good with it? Our political position is not scared. That is not our political position. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. You better run, 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 because here they come, man. Stop with that coward stuff, man. I want you guys to understand, they're trying to sell this as culture. They're trying to sell fearfulness and cowardice as the culture. Shout out to Tia. What's good with it, Tia? It's ridiculous. And the only thing that I'm asking is that everyone do is unite around the ticket. The ticket at this point in time is Biden-Harris, Crockett continued. So as long as the president says he can do this job, then that is our ticket. Yeah, I don't agree with that because there's nothing there that's saying what he's going to do for us. And the only reason why you're telling us to vote for him is because you don't want the other guy to be in office. I'm going to let you guys answer this question in the comment section. I'm going to let you guys answer this question in the comment section. Remember my advice to make sure that you ask at the very least intermediate intelligible questions. Remember that? I try to be respectful. You know what I'm saying? I try to be respectful. Now we got to have a tribunal, a mini tribunal. I need anybody watching this video or anybody watching a replay of this video to timestamp where the statement was made that quote unquote Project 2025 is not real. That's what I need desperately from you guys. And another thing I need desperately from you guys is to take a moment, smash that like button, also hit that bell, and share the stream to your social media. Also, if you're not part of the Discord, please take a moment, hit that Discord link, join the Discord so that you never miss a notification. All right. As of Saturday afternoon, 5 of Crockett's Democratic colleagues in the House have called on Biden to step aside. They argue that Vice President Harris or another top Democrat has a better chance against Trump in the election this fall. Which, again, I don't know how people can say that, because if you guys have seen Kamala Harris's polling, she's doing worse than Biden. Shout out to DSB. What's good with it, bro? Biden and his campaign spent much of the week attempting to regain support from voters. In his first on-camera interview since the debate, Biden insisted Friday he was in it to win it and would not be stepping down. Either way, Crockett's asked Democrats to stay the course. Let's recognize who the real enemy is, she said. Let's not give fodder to the Republicans come November by tearing each other apart. Now, I want to ask you guys this. She says, let's recognize who the real enemy is. To you guys, who is the quote unquote real enemy? If you ask me, both parties and a large percentage, kind of like 70% of the United States are the real enemies. Would you guys, if you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, then give me a thumbs down. Now, that radio station in Milwaukee, they edited the Joe Biden interview. I don't know if anybody is aware of that, but they edited the Joe Biden interview. Shout out to TD Media Group. TD said that Jasmine Crockett is the enemy. Yeah. She gonna roast you too, TD. She gonna call you a yodeling, yugly, yawning YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? She gonna say yugly to make it be all wise.
Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett of Dallas, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So wanted to just start by asking what's making a lot of headlines this afternoon as we speak, and that is Texas Congressman Lloyd Doggett of Austin has called for President Biden to withdraw from his reelection bid. And I'm wondering what you think about that.
I think that it's a half-brained idea. A lot of people are saying a lot of things, but they've not explained exactly how we will be in a better position to win. We know that it takes a lot of money to run for office. No one could just get the $100-something million that the president has on hand transferred to them.
Now, that part right there, no one can get the $100 million that the president has on hand transferred to them. Do you all think that particular point right there makes up a big part of why the push for Kamala Harris is so heavy right now? If you guys think that part right there is one of the main reasons why the push to move towards Kamala is so heavy, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't feel that that's why, then give me a thumbs down and let me know why you think.
And be the person. Also, when we say we respect democracy and we respect people's votes, how is it that you decide who's next? Are we going to just pick the next person? It doesn't work that way. And finally, this president has a record to run on. And actually, I said finally, but the other thing about this that is really weird to me is that the president was initially elected in 1972. Lloyd Doggett.
Shout out to TD. TD said, peep them photos behind her. She needs to stop it. Bro, I'm dead. And this is what I was saying, man. Listen, remember how I told y'all that the white outrage economy and the black outrage economy work hand in hand and they break bread behind the scenes. Listen, people like Marjorie Taylor Green, they're an easy target, right? And so is AOC. This is what I'm saying. And I said this a long time ago. So AOC will say something crazy, right? And then everybody on the right will go in on AOC. That's how they both get publicity. Marjorie Taylor Green does the exact same thing. She'll say something ridiculous, and then everybody will pounce on Marjorie Taylor Green to get their publicity. Jasmine Crockett is popular because she roasted Marjorie Taylor Green for being Marjorie Taylor Green. So Marjorie Taylor Green will say some outrage nonsense and then fall back so that another female colleague could get their punches in and rise to the top. If you pay very close attention, there's been a pattern of this back and forth between these modern congresswomen for a long time now. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. Besides the B6, what is Jasmine Crockett known for?
It was initially elected in 1973 and is only a couple of years behind the president. So it just doesn't feel like this is the space that it should be coming from.
And so, I mean, does his announcement surprise you?
It did. I remember when we went through redistricting and got our new lines, there was all this chatter about how Lloyd Doggett should step aside and allow the next generation to run. So absolutely, I never anticipated in a million years that he would do this.
Why do you think so many people seem very surprised after the debate about President Biden's performance? Because go ahead. I'm sorry.
I didn't anticipate that the president would perform that way. I was expecting a little bit more of a knockout.
Right. Now, here goes my question. Shout out to DSB. DSB brings up the best point. I've never trusted her. She's not for reparations checks for us. Facts. And shout out to My 2 Cents, y'all. My 2 Cents says she passed the insulin reform. Now, the insulin reform, I'm sure that would be a great policy sweeping for everyone in the United States who suffers from type 1 or type 2 diabetes, right? However, when it comes to policy-specific issues, most of us here are looking at issues that specifically address the racial wealth gap, issues that specifically address each disparity that we have, right? And my question is, what issue has she addressed directly that deals with any of those disparities? Reparations would be the best one. What is her position on reparations? Now, here go my question. If you ask me, when we start talking about reparations, when it comes to a lot of these people, like Jasmine Crockett, she's going to go from the B6 rhetoric, right, to the B last rhetoric. She's going to be sitting up there talking like Byron Donald. You know what I'm saying?
We knew that Trump would go in and lie. And I also expected CNN to do a little bit better at actually moderating. Instead of just allowing Trump to kind of say whatever he wanted to say.
Look, check this out, right? I don't think that CNN did a bad job. And honestly, I don't really think that Dana Bash is that bad of a journalist. Like, I honestly like her on CNN. You know what I'm saying? I don't think she did a bad job at all. So it's interesting that she thinks that that it should have been moderated a little bit better. But then again, that could be my personal bias. But I'm curious, what do you all think? Do you all think that she did a bad job moderating? I didn't think that she did. I don't think that she did. I like that the new black lady that's on CNN and Dana Bash. I actually like both of them. I actually think that they're actual good additions to CNN. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that I don't think that there was anything that she could have done as far as moderation that would have made Biden look better. But if you guys disagree, let me know. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong. I could be looking at it and, you know, not with a not seeing something that you guys are seeing, but let me know.
But I fully anticipated that the president knew that he was going to come in line. that he would come in lying about things such as January 6th, and that he would actually beat him down on those issues. It didn't happen. I think that the president was overprepared. And I think that the strategy that was given to him by the team was one more so of let him lie and maybe the moderators will fix it, but you just appear presidential and you focus in on the substance. And I think that there is no question.
And shout out to everybody watching, man. I appreciate you guys. If you all have not smashed that like button, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media.
About who won on substance, but when it came down to style, people felt as if there was the more energy coming from the Trump side.
And what do you say about the reports that have come out since the debate? I know that veteran journalist Carl Bernstein came out today saying that he's heard from at least a dozen sources.
So I want you guys to pay very close attention, right? And I want you guys, as you're watching this, even when you're not watching my channel, like if you're watching another channel and they're talking about this particular situation, think in terms of this, right? When it comes to this particular situation, when it comes to talking about Joe Biden, when it comes to the election, when it comes to selling Joe Biden, they're not selling Joe Biden based on what he plans on doing to improve things for us. You know what I'm saying? They're telling you vote Biden because you're terrified of the other guy. And what I'm telling everybody is we're going to develop a fearless culture. We're going to develop a culture of being fearless. Fear mongering will not work on the fearless. Would you guys, if you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. So again, we got to still ask. We're not going to not vote to help someone, and we're not going to get any help in return. The question is, what are them votes hitting for? What are them votes hitting for? When it come to Joe Biden or when it come to Trump? If the votes aren't hitting for anything, these people have already been given enough handouts. No one's getting any handouts. 0 handouts in 2024. Would you guys agree? Let me know what y'all think.
Is saying that the president has slowed down, his cognitive abilities have slowed down, and it's been apparent to top aides in meetings.
Yeah, I don't know really what to say about that, except for the fact that people forget that this president has never been known as an orator. He has never been in a Barack Obama. In addition to that, people forget that he has a stutter, and a stutter isn't something that you have surgery for to correct.
When did Joe Biden have a stutter? Show me clips of Joe Biden prior to the debate, going back his entire political year, when Joe Biden had a consistent stutter. Show me the speech pathology report that shows that Joe Biden has a stutter. Now, also, they talk about presidents and politicians and the medical issues that they have very often all over the place on many different media outlets. If anybody can find any past reporting of evidence of it being cited that Joe Biden had a stutter, please drop it in the comment section or put it into the Discord. And shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys. We only need 22 more likes to get to that 100. If everybody could take a moment, smash that like button, hit that bell, share the stream, that would be wonderful.
Right. It is something that you are taught over time how to deal with and how to get over, but it never is a thing that necessarily heals. And as he is aging, I think it is more difficult for him to try to make sure that he is using those skills to get over. So yeah, it's quite apparent, but I need people to remember that this is
quick, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to my man TD Media Group. Please make sure you guys show TD some love, throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man TD for funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the marching dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Shout out to TD. TD says Jasmine is currently working overtime to be Team DNC. She is still expendable like Jamal Bowman, but if Biden wins, she'll be locked in like AOC. Exactly. And that's why she's riding. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, then give me a thumbs down. Now, check this out. Shout out to My 2 Cents. My 2 Cents says Trump is a concern, especially after his stand back and stand by comment. Now, here's my question. Is Biden bulletproof? Is he going to run around like the Flash and block bullets in front of us if there's some type of conflict event? No, not trying to be funny, man. Not trying to be funny. You know what I'm saying? But I would take that bullet myself before, you know what I'm saying, I'll let somebody like Joe Biden, quote unquote, save me. I'm just saying.
And who grew up stuttering and had a speaking impediment where he has to consistently work around the speech. But when we look at the results of this president, the results cannot be questioned whatsoever, versus the fact that he may not be the most eloquent orator.
Some of the CNN just released a poll this afternoon saying most people, I think it was 75% of Democrats think, or if people think that the Democrats would do better.
Now they're talking about Joe Biden, right? Doesn't it seem like this interviewer is about to fall asleep? If it seems like this interviewer is about to fall asleep, give me a thumbs up. If it doesn't seem like this interviewer is about to fall asleep, then give me a thumbs down. This dude, I've never really seen anything like this. He seems like he's boring himself to death. This is truly remarkable. He seems like he's boring himself to death.
Without President Biden on the ticket. So you would disagree with that?
I disagree with that. First of all, people need to recognize that this election should be an issues-driven election.
Right, not a healthcare-driven election. And if Joe Biden has health issues, that's definitely an issue that should be examined. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to TD. TD says that's why over the last 30 years of him being in government, you can't find one speech of him stuttering. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Again, anybody that can find any evidence of Joe Biden, talking about his stuttering issues, how it's impeded him and his duties of being a president, anything like that. If you can find any of that, please drop it in the Discord, or please drop it in the chat, or please drop it in the comment section after the video. Okay. Now, this right here is the predeterminants of a DEI hire. Would you guys agree? If Joe dies, they will have a first black woman president. Is that not the recipe for quote unquote DEI? If that's not a DEI setup, give me a thumbs up. If it is a DEI setup, give me a thumbs down.
And it should be a values-driven election. The fact that we're talking about the fact that the president struggled with getting some of his words, and now it's the end of his campaign, versus a guy who has 34 felony convictions.
And he's not saying that he's hiring her for being a lawyer or a senator. That's not why he's hiring her. If he hires her simply saying, I'm hiring her because I will deliver you a black woman, he's hiring her on a DEI basis. He's not saying I'm hiring her because she's an accomplished lawyer with a track record that's flawless in California. He's not saying that. That's not what he's selling her on. Let me ask you guys, can anybody give me any clips of Joe Biden selling any of his black people on their record of competency? This is Joe Biden doing this. Nobody told Joe Biden to sell them based on their gender or their skin color. Joe Biden made that choice to do that. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree with me, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And again, I'm not saying that she's not qualified for the job. What I'm saying is that she did not get sold by Joe Biden for her qualifications. She didn't get sold by him for that. That's not what Joe Biden advertised her as. You know what I'm saying? You can't ignore facts. Joe Biden did not say Kamala Harris was an excellent senator in California and she has a impeccable record as a DA, and she prosecuted these monumental cases and set benchmark precedent. He didn't present her as that ever. Give me a clip where he presented her as that. He presented her as, I'll pick a black woman for vice president. Those were his words. Those were literally his words. If those were not his words, then somebody tell me if I'm telling the truth. Tell me if I'm lying. Let me know. Shout out to Black Spider. Make sure you guys show Black Spider some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Black Spider funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Shout out to Phil. Make sure you guys show Phil some love. Definitely appreciate it, bro. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Phil funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Get the money, y'all. There's poor people around. I'm rich, biatch.
Silence. I ain't got no money, pie.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Yeah, facts. Exactly. Hurricane, shout out to Hurricane. Hurricane says this is the derangement of our internal politics, going off of emotions and personal instead of facts and logic. Yeah. And see, and this is what I'm saying, right? I'm not saying that Kamala Harris on paper does not have the qualifications to meet the minimum standards of being a vice president or a president. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is Joe Biden specifically said he picked her and others like her because they check off boxes. He said that. I'm not saying that. I'm not making that assumption. Those were Joe Biden's words. And if Joe Biden picked those people simply to as a symbol to other people because they check off boxes, then he picked those people as DEIs. That's not deniable. He did that. He picked them as DEIs. Does that have to do with their qualifications? No. Kamala Harris was a prosecutor. You know what I'm saying? She was a senator. Of course she's got government experience, right? But he did not pick them for that. That's not what he said. He sold them to the public as a first black woman. If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. If he didn't want to do that, he should have been responsible and chose his words more wisely. But as we saw from the debate, that might actually be a challenge for him. He might not be capable of that, which is, again, a concern that people should have. You know what I'm saying?
And along with other 50-something felonies that are pending against him, along with the Supreme Court that has just decided that he can go out and commit more crimes and not be charged with them, I think that people have to start to figure out which one is a bigger priority.
Now, if say, for instance, Joe Biden says, I'm going to get TD Media Group to be my press secretary because he's a black male, right? First and foremost, TD will probably turn down the job unless it's, you know what I'm saying, unless it's hitting crazy. But then I'm sure TD will be smart enough to put a clause in there that says, nah, I'm going to be able to say what I want about you. You know what I'm saying? But if Joe Biden doesn't say TD Hip Hop Media is a independent media that is close to 100,000 subs on YouTube, has millions of views and watch hours, and as a result of the competence that he shows with his political podcast and video content, I'm going to make him my press secretary, right? If he doesn't present him as that, everybody's going to say he only picked him because he's a black male. He's a DEI hire. Joe Biden picking these people as DEI hires is no different than black conservatives. Why does Fox bring black coons over there? Why do black conservative channels blow up so much? Because they use their skin color. They use being black to say stuff that would get a white person looked at funny. And there's a big market for people to pay them for that. Shout out to my man, DJ Elmo. What's good with you, bro? It's the same exact thing. The conservative DEI is no different than the liberal DEI. It's no different. I want y'all to let me see Marjorie Taylor Green be a black conservative. Show me Lauren Boebert being a black conservative. Show me Matt Gaetz being a black conservative. They can't do it. Why can't they do it? Because they're white. The job of black conservative is only for people that can fake people out and make them think that they're black, or actual black people. It's a DEI job. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down.
Having someone who may stutter over some of his words, or having someone that may literally decide that he's going to be the dictator that he said he was going to be on day one, and someone that will further embolden an already terrible court by adding 2 more justices to that court and hurting American people over and over and over again.
Now, again, shout out to My 2 Cents, y'all. My 2 Cents says there's a cap where conservatives are concerned. You don't see a cap where Democrats are concerned? Shout out to Cindy. What's good with it, Cindy? DC says, serious question. Is TD going to have to wear the Joy Reid wig? Yeah, I'm sure he could snatch a robin's nest out of a tree and put it on his head before he walks in front of the podium. You know what I'm saying? Who is the black president that we had? How do you have a white mom and you're black? People need to stop accepting being a genetic trash can. We're not a genetic dumping ground. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's no diss to mixed people or biracial people, right? But if other groups of people maintain their racial integrity based on mother and father, then we need to be doing the same thing. No, he's not black in America. America has check marks for biracial. He's not black. He's white. What makes if you're 50% black and 50% white, how do you automatically become black? No, people say that Barack Obama is black. I say that he's white. And I'm just as right as anybody that says that he's black. The same way I probably got like 2% European in me. So I'm going to start speaking on every single white issue because I'm going to just say that I'm a white dude. It doesn't matter what he's considered. Some people consider themselves females and they have to stand up to pee. Mathematically and scientifically, how can somebody with a white mother or a white father and a black mother or a black father be black or white? No, that's not how America operates, on false realities that are not upheld by the cowardly population that lives here. That's not how America operates. There is a box that you can check if you are biracial. Even in the days of racial discrimination and bigotry and Jim Crow, those people were classified as mulatto. It's not how the country operates. He was presented as a black man. He's not a black man. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, that's not a knock on him. It's just the reality. As you can see, this is one of the problems. People always talk about infiltration and all of this stuff, right? This is who used to be the people that would always just, I'm going to make everybody black. We've never seen any of his job applications. We don't know how he identifies. You know what I'm saying? Now, we have seen birth certificates. We have seen Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris's mom is Asian and she identifies as white. It's on her birth certificate. DC Precise hit the alarm for the TCU. No, but I think that this is actually a conversation that we need to have. I think that this is a very important conversation. Says who? What is the evidence that the country operates this way? What is the evidence that the country operates this way? Show me documented evidence that the country operates outside of mathematics and logic. Show me how Barack Obama is not a mixed man. There is no one-drop law. The one-drop law is something that white people used to enforce back in the Jim Crow and slavery days. That's not enforced anymore. That's like saying that there's still slavery. And my question is, why are you following white supremacist laws? Do you still drink at the black-only water fountains? Do you still go find a black-only bathroom? Do you bow down and pray to white Jesus? Let me know what you do. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you do. It's 2024. I'm not being ridiculous. This is reality. What you're dealing with is that your reality is false and you're ridiculous. That's the actual reality. The ridiculousness is that you're still living in the 1800s or 1900s and white supremacy has evolved. It has changed. It does not have the same face as it used to have. And you're still looking at the face that fell off of it centuries ago. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure you guys show Brooklyn Queen some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Brooklyn Queen with the $5 super chat.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
My 2 cents says I need to argue that with the country. Actually, no, I don't. I don't need to argue that with the country. I only need to argue that with old, outdated black people who live in the past. That is the only people that I need to argue that with. Because the rest of the country is now talking about people of color and DEI and anti-black mixed people like Amanda Ekanoba. And your generation of people broke down the barriers to where anybody can just walk in the door. Your generation of low self-esteem, self-hating, spineless people who are not able to stand for themselves and say, we are who we are. You all created this mess. The country created enough mess. But it's time for the target to be put on the back of the people who actually snowballed that mess. And that generation is old, weak, outdated, uneducated, low articulated people like you. You need to update your programming to 2024 and understand what's going on. You all have created detriments and created an insurmountable hole of not only debt, but of strife and barriers and nonsense that future generations have to climb up because of your incompetence and willing to lay down. And your only response to that is, well, you need to follow white supremacist laws. No, we don't. We need to attack with fact and correct with logic and stay on the path of facts and logic at all times. If something doesn't make sense, if it's not material, if it's not tangible, then it doesn't make sense. It's not material and it's not tangible, and it doesn't matter how it works. That's how this country worked. The country worked with slavery. The country worked with Jim Crow. That's how the country works. It's not an excuse. How do you work? That's the actual question. Shout out to DSB. Make sure you guys show DSB some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for DSB.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Shout out to Hurricane. Make sure y'all show Hurricane some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man Hurricane IQ.
Silence, silence. I ain't got no money, pie.
Get the money, y'all. There's poor people around. I'm rich, bitch.
I've taken lots of Black history education and I've learned Black history on my own. And instead of you just telling me what kind of classes that I need to take, because I got a master's degree, I've taken plenty. What is it that I don't know? Or what is it that I've said that's not factual? That's my question for you guys. See, because this is a problem and everybody needs to learn how to handle this, because this is what's called the elderly ethic shaming attempt. Old people think that you're not supposed to shut them up because they're old and got one foot in the grave. No one cares. You don't get respect just because you're old. You know what I'm saying? You got to come with actual facts. Now, what part of Black history did I say that was incorrect? And I'll show you my transcript on my formal education of Black history if you want. Shout out to Gone for Milk. What's good with it, bro? I'm a Black American. My father can trace his roots all the way back to Georgia. And on my mom's side, on my grandfather's side, we can trace it all the way back to Blount, Alabama. What are you telling me? You know what I'm saying? What are you telling me? Shout out to Hurricane. Make sure y'all show Hurricane some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Hurricane.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Hurricane says, then they wonder why we don't listen to them. Facts. And I'm not even trying to sit up here and have no out-blacking contest, because y'all know I don't do that and I don't believe in that, right? But if you're going to sit there and say that something that I'm saying is false, at least come with it. Why it's false? What did I say that was incorrect? What did I say that was incorrect? I never said that the one-drop rule didn't exist. I said that it's not a law currently. The same way Jim Crow is not currently a law. The same way slavery, when it comes to race-based slavery, is not currently legal. Now, do people use unethical and corrupt workarounds? Of course they do. Of course they do. But then we got to learn how the country works. Bro, the country's not debating about this. It is, look, let me ask y'all this question. Where do you debate stuff like this at? I've never seen a Senate hearing about any of this kind of stuff. You only have to deal with this when knock-kneed, scared, cowardly, jelly spine, old people are scared and want a quilt to put over their head because they're worried about some white people. And look at the problems with hip hop. Look at the problems with hip hop. Oh, they ain't black, they ain't white, so they must be black. They ain't white, so they must be black. Now it's a whole separation of goofy movement and everybody outraged about how they used to move back in the day and share the hip hop culture with everybody. Now people got a whole mess on their hands making video after video trying to take it back when all they had to do was what they teach you on the first day of school. Write your name on the paper. You know what I'm saying? Write your name on the paper. You learn that the first day of school. Write your name on the paper. You don't share your lunch with the whole cafeteria. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Basic stuff. You put a lock on the door when you go outside. Basic stuff. Now the people that you let into the party sitting there saying that they threw the party. What you expect? None of this stuff is anything that I ever needed an instruction manual for. But clearly it's a lot of people that did. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's good to see people changing and evolving and moving in different directions. But at the same time, you got to look back and be like, this is what happened. This is what happened. We got somebody in the chat sitting here trying to tell me that it's genetically possible to be a black person with a black mother and a white father, or a white mother and a black mother. And again, right? Racial is genetic. That don't have nothing to do with cultural. You could be down 500% and be mixed. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody saying that that's not the case. But racially and genetically, you're mixed. There's nothing wrong with that. The same way that it's the same way that you can be a non-white white supremacist. It's about your mind state. Look at I would say that for the most part, Colin Kaepernick is pretty down. He's a mixed dude that was raised by a white family. He's mixed. You know what I'm saying? He's not 100% black. He checks boxes. But he does the most, it seems like, to try to be on the side of truth. I ain't mad at that. I wouldn't just go in on him about that. You know what I'm saying? But the old generation they are so self-hating, man. They have such low self-esteem. They just want to be loved by everybody. I just got to be loved. Oh, I just need somebody to give me a hug, man. Screw all that hug stuff, man. People better learn how to bear hug, and that's about the only thing. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said, take your 2 cents back. We on Bitcoin and villainy over here. Facts. If y'all agree with Brooklyn Queen, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Make sure y'all show Brooklyn Queen some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Brooklyn Queen.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Shout out to Val. Val said James Clyburn, Maxine Waters, John Lewis are the silent generation. Yeah. Fred Hampton, Khalid Muhammad, Mark Clark are baby boomers. Yeah, facts. And again, it's not everybody, right? It's not everybody when we talk about them older generations. It's just the ones who had the access, because the large majority, it's not all of them. A large majority don't make up the people that was able to get to positions where they was in contact with the government. It's a small percentage, right? It's a small percentage. But a small percentage of them people cause a big impact on that particular generation and generations after that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to AB. AB said, please hit those cents with the plebiscite babble. Bro, facts.
Talentless, scandalous, plebiscite, babbling.
I mean, to me, like, I just don't get it. And then the thing is, like, say for instance, if I was debating Matt Walsh, or if I was debating Ben Shapiro, that wouldn't even be a question. We wouldn't even be talking about that. So while you're sitting there telling me about how the country works, the way that the country works is based on finance. We got to get the racial wealth gap together. You know what I'm saying? One way or another. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's going to be sitting there talking about that unless a conversation about reparations would happen. And based on mother and father, Barack Obama wouldn't qualify for reparations, and neither will Kamala Harris. And not just because they're mixed, because even on the black side, black parents are not black American descendants of slaves. Same with Byron Donalds, while he was all butthurt at the cognac bar. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Hurricane IQ. Make sure y'all show Hurricane IQ some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man Hurricane IQ. Hurricane IQ says, younger silent generation, all baby boomers, older generation Xers have this problem. They need to get out of the way. Listen, man, go enjoy the fruits of, enjoy something that we won't get, Social Security. Enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not going to get it. You know what I'm saying? But enjoy it, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, they should enjoy it. Shout out to Hurricane, man. Show Hurricane some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Hurricane funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the march of dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
So check this out, right? When it comes to this stuff, right? What have I always told people? What are the votes hitting for? What are the votes hitting for? Do not hand somebody some money and do not get anything back in return. Votes are political currency. You would never go to a store and hand money to a cashier and walk out without nothing unless you went to that store and paid for a service that you were getting. What product or service will we be getting for our votes? You know what I'm saying? That is the question that I ask. If you see something that we clearly don't see, that Joe Biden is going to provide materially, tangibly, and you can prove that with facts, okay. Trump, okay. If you see nothing and you feel it's okay to sit the vote out because there's nothing being offered at this time for you, okay. Do your research and make sure you make your decision based on the best integrity of facts and information that you can find. People going all to other people's live streams, mentioning my name, talking about I'm telling people to vote for one or the other candidate. I've never, ever on any video told people who to vote for. I would sound crazy telling people who to vote for because I've never voted, because I've never seen a reason to vote, because none of the candidates have ever offered anything that I felt would be beneficial of why I need to take time out of my day and go vote. And I also don't complain about the current conditions either. These are future conditions we're talking about. People will sit there and say, well, if you don't vote, then you can't talk. No, I can talk about whatever I want to talk about. We're talking about an election that hasn't happened yet. So what do you mean I can't talk about the future? This might be the time I decide to vote. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with you, Hurricane. I agree with you 100%, bro. But this is why I say that people should do their research. Compare information sources. You know what I'm saying? And again, you know, don't even just get your information from me. Compare what I say against what other people say. But it's political season now, you know what I'm saying? And you got people that's trolls, you know what I'm saying? People that, you know, just doing all kind of stuff. And you know what I'm saying? That go and call into people's streams, sitting up there talking about, oh, you know, Black Light Revelations is over there telling people to vote for Trump. I ain't telling people to vote for anybody that's not giving you what it is that you feel is the most important issue. If nothing is on the ticket specifically for Black people, You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows this. I'm a cryptocurrency investor and I'm a cryptocurrency advocate. I might take into consideration looking at who has the best policies for crypto deregulation. Right? I've never said that. So be careful. Be careful when it comes to listening to what goes on a lot of streams. Because it's political season, you got trolls out. They trying to say that everybody is misinformation. Like I said, if there's any misinformation, then people should easily be able to post clips, right? Where the clips at? Where the clips at? You know what I'm saying?
So you don't think that President Biden's cognitive abilities would have any impact on his second term?
So as it relates to his cognitive abilities, I have not personally experienced something where I say cognitively he is struggling. As it relates to, again, the stutter and struggling to get the words out.
So I want you guys to pay very close attention to what Jasmine Crockett just said. She said that she did not notice a cognitive issue with Joe Biden. Did you all hear that? If you guys heard that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys did not hear that, give me a thumbs down. She said that she didn't notice a cognitive issue with Joe Biden. Now, I want you guys to tell me this. What does the word cognitive mean?
Cognitive abilities would have any impact on his second.
I'm gonna run this back just a little bit so we can get the full context of the statement.
Terrible court by adding 2 more justices to that court and hurting American people over and over and over again.
So you don't think that President Biden's cognitive abilities would have any impact on his second term?
So as it relates to his cognitive abilities, I have not personally experienced something where I say cognitively he is struggling. As it relates to, again, the stutter and struggling to get the words out, absolutely, I can see that. But even still, people are acting as if we don't have a system in place. We live in Dallas, Texas, where we know JFK was assassinated. We have certain things in place and systems so that if someone is unable to serve, there is a ticket. We're not just voting for President Biden. We're voting for Vice President Kamala Harris.
So they're voting for. So she's trying to tell you that vote for Biden so that you can get Kamala Harris. You guys hear? I want you guys to make sure you guys are hearing this. And again, this is Jasmine Crockett. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if this is like the whole quote unquote Democrat agenda, but as you guys can see, this is Jasmine Crockett, and she's saying this stuff. It's very clear and obvious. You know what I'm saying? It's very clear and obvious. Okay.
Cognitively, he is struggling. As it relates to, again, the stutter and struggling to get the words out, absolutely, I can see that. But even still, people are acting as if we don't have a system in place. We live in Dallas, Texas, where we know JFK was assassinated. We have certain things in place and systems so that if someone is unable to serve, there is a ticket. We're not just voting for President Biden. We're voting for Vice President Kamala Harris, who is over 30 years younger than the president. And so for those that have concerns about his age, those that have concerns about his cognitive abilities, it is an entire ticket. There is someone that is there. And that's what people need to focus in on and recognize there's already a system in place so that if something happens to the top, there's somebody that's right there and ready to step in.
And my last question on this topic before we move to the Supreme Court ruling, I wanted to ask you, just following up on what you said, how likely do you think the scenario is?
So check this out. We might we might have to we might have to finish this tomorrow. If you guys want a part 2 of this tomorrow, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't want a part 2 of this tomorrow, then give me a thumbs down. But check this out though. Hold on real quick. Look at this right here. I just want y'all to see this right here. So we talking about Joe Biden's cognitive ability. Look at this right here. Now y'all see the date? that right there just happened. You know what I'm saying? Now let me ask you guys, what is that? What does that say about the cognition? What do that say about the cognition? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that'll go over very well. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of bad. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of bad.
If President Biden is going to be reelected in November, that he will not serve out a full term, and then that Vice President Harris would take over.
I have no idea. I mean, you're asking me to pretend to be Miss Cleo and have a little ball. I have no idea, but I know that the heart to serve is there. I know that if he is able to serve, he absolutely will serve.
All right, so let's talk about the Supreme Court ruling, the historic ruling from yesterday, and what was your reaction to it?
Right. If you guys agree with PD that remains, he can't tell Putin from Zelensky is wow. Give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, then give me a thumbs down. How do you make that mistake, man? How do you make that mistake? And shout out to everybody that's watching, man. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed that like button yet, please take a moment. Smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit that bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and share the stream to your social media. We got 89 likes. Shout out to y'all, man. We only need 11 more to hit that goal of 100. So please help me out and help us hit that goal of 100.
I was quite devastated. I listened to oral arguments, which were interesting to say the least. And I knew that the Supreme Court wanted to go further than the question that was presented to them. I never imagined that they would tie the hands of the DOJ or any other prosecutors.
I just thought about this. Shout out to the Discord gang. We just had a dope conversation in the Discord. And what people really need to know is y'all need to see what Arnold Schwarzenegger's name actually means. Ask this question. In the German language, and this just came out of nowhere. I just thought this was really good. In the German language, how do you get Schwarzenegger? And if you break that apart, what does that mean? What does Schwarzenegger mean in German?
For that matter, so much so that they would insulate and literally make a president be above the law. That is something that we don't stand for in this country, or at least we used to not stand for. And essentially what they have done is they have said, here you go, Mr. Trump. If you end up back in office, we've got your back and you can do whatever you want to. You can bring that retribution that you were talking about and no one will be able to prosecute you for it. They have literally insulated him to commit whatever crimes, additional crimes he wants to commit.
Well, the court yesterday seemed to have like three different distinctions. They had said that the president or any president has immunity, blanket immunity, when it comes to carrying out his or her duties that are called for in the Constitution, and then presumptive immunity when it comes to quote unquote official acts, but no such immunity for unofficial acts. Why does that not satisfy you?
Yeah, because basically what they laid out is that if you use officials in any way.
So look, check this out. I want to ask y'all this question. What job do y'all think that that Jasmine Crockett is trying to petition for? What job do y'all think that she'll get? And here go my question for real. Do y'all think that she'll get a job? Do y'all think that Biden will hook her up with a job or not? I don't know if she'll even get a job or not. I don't know for a fact if that's what's going to go down. She might not be there yet. She might not be enough of a Democratic shill yet. Shout out to Unsunken One. Look, listen, go and Google the word Negger in German and see what you get. See what you get. See what you get. Yeah, shout out to DSB. Yo, throw your channel link in the chat so people can check out your video, bro. They never come with any receipts. Facts. If you guys agree with Black Spider, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Brooklyn Queen said, Schwarzenegger is a German-Austrian surname, which derives from Schwarz, which is black, and Egger, which is corner. So it means black corner man. Now, check this out. Look up the word. See how it says Schwarz, right? Negger. Look up the word Negger in German and see what you get. See what you get.
Then that is an official act. And so they gave this broad definition, which is the type of definition that he was seeking in the first place. But literally engaging in basically a criminal conspiracy with your DOJ or with your House counsel or anyone else, that can be considered an official act because they are acting in their official capacity to do something that is unofficial. And that is where the problem is. And even if you determine that this is what's taking place, they're saying, you know what? You're not allowed to use anything that was gleaned in the conversations with these officials, even if they are saying that it's unofficial. And so it really is wide sweeping.
Shout out to DSB. DSB said, be warned, family. I use a lot of bad language on my channel. Yo, anybody that's been around here for a long time, bro, I have cut down swearing so much. Like, I don't swear at all compared to how I used to be, bro. And they still be yellow dollar sign in my videos. They still be yellow dollar sign in my videos. And I'm actually about to show y'all this real quick. Hold on real quick. Let me see. Content. All right, so look, check this out. Check this out. Hold on. Shout out to Cindy. Cindy said, yes, you have. It allowed me to come back. We glad to have you back. Now, look at this, right? I want y'all to see this because we about to, you know what I'm saying? This about to be a wrap. Y'all see all these yellow dollar signs? Look at this. Look at all these yellow dollar signs. So I want y'all to know when I be telling y'all that I'm putting a video on members only because it's yellow dollar sign, I'm not just putting green videos on members only. All right. Look at all this yellow dollar sign. All these videos, yellow dollar sign. One green one right there, and you see it's public. One green one and it's public. One green, green ones and they public. Yellow dollar signs though. All the last videos that I did, all of them yellow dollar sign. Look at all them yellow dollar signs. So I'm not just hiding the videos to try to get y'all to join the memberships. They for real just are deciding to yellow dollar sign all of my videos. You know what I'm saying? They for real just are yellow dollar signing all of my videos. And I don't even, like I said, I don't even swear as much anymore. Look at Cindy. Cindy is telling you, yes, you have. It's allowed me to come back. I rarely swear anymore. I used to swear like every other word. I don't swear anymore. Maybe once in a blue moon, I might like slip up and, you know what I'm saying, say something here or there. But like I cut down on that a lot. You know what I'm saying? And they still be yellow dollar sign in my videos. You know what I'm saying? They still be yellow dollar sign in my videos. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the people that support the streams. Shout out to the people on Patreon. Shout out to the people on Locals. I appreciate y'all because, you know, without you guys, you know, there would be virtually nothing. You know what I'm saying? So if they yellow dollar sign this video, we going to use the same thumbnail. You know what I'm saying? And finish this stream up in 2 days. But tomorrow we're going to talk about them folks over there. And this is going to be crazy. There's been since the last them folks over there, which was just yesterday, there's been even more insanity. And when I tell you insanity, that is not an understatement. This is actual insanity. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Val. Make sure y'all show Val some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Val for funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Shout out to Val. Val says, Rob, you're doing good. Yo, I appreciate you, Val. Shout out to Val, too. Val been around forever. And shout out to Carla. Shout out to Carla with the follow-up. Splish splash. You know what I'm saying? 3 points, 3 points.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
So make sure you guys show everybody some love. And remember, do not move a muscle. Let the song play. It'll take you into the premiere window for the stream. That's tomorrow. Please go in there, hit that bell icon twice in there, and smash the like button. All right. I'm going to shout out everybody who supported. We have 15 stream sponsors. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all make this possible. Shout out to my man, Bronze the God, for being a member for 31 months. Definitely appreciate it, bro. Shout out to AB Promotions. Make sure y'all show AB some love. Shout out to my man, PD That Remains, for joining the membership. Appreciate it, bro. Shout out to my man, TD Media Group. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Black Spider. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Phil Mayo. Definitely appreciate it, bro. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all show Brooklyn Queen some love. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to DSB. Make sure y'all show DSB some love. Shout out to Hurricane IQ. Make sure y'all show Hurricane IQ some love. Hurricane IQ doubling down. Appreciate it. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen, doubling down again. Shout out to my man, AB Promotions. Make sure y'all show AB some love. Shout out to Hurricane again. Shout out to Val. Make sure y'all show Val some love. And shout out to Carla. All right. Definitely appreciate it. Don't move a muscle. Hit that like button. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
walk up in the life. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up. Look, walking this bitch like
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
I'm really him. Don't believe me? Come and see me. Got 3 wishes from my genie. Now I'm on your local TV. Y'all don't talk about demons. Say she wanna come and see me when I'm in a local city. I'm like, pause though. Please step aside so they can see me. And I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. I'm the realest from my city. That's on money, that's on TV, that's on mamas. Niggas don't believe me, come and see me. I been dodging all that face. All these niggas working broke, but I been getting paid. All that know me from the street. Flexing for what feature, that's like every other week. Talk behind my back, I kick my feet up, have a seat. Cause at the end of the day, all these watching me as I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up. Look, walking this light. Hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey, I'm really him.